Okay, to bring us home today, we have Kula Gold, trading under the ASX code KGD with a market cap of 4 million. They are a mineral exploration company with promising lithium, gold, copper, nickel, PGE, rare earths, Halloysite and Kaolin projects in Kirup, Brunswick, Lake Rebecca and Southern Cross regions of WA. Joining us today is Kula Gold CEO Ric Dawson. Welcome, Ric, and over to you.
Thank you, Paul, and welcome to the Share Cafe. Next slide, please. Next two slides. We're a small company. We have a market cap of around $4 million at the moment as our capital structure. We have around 460 million shares on issue. And next slide, please. The board is made up of 3 individuals who've been in the industry, very experienced, been involved in exploration and development of mines. And I feel that the board there gives a lot of confidence that people can invest with us. Next slide, please. West Australia, obviously a well-known province for gold. I think you can see there substantial gold deposits have been found and are currently being mined in Western Australia. Next slide, please. Our main area of focus for this year are our 2 areas, the Southern Cross region and also the Brunswick Kirup region. And I will go depth of these 2 areas. Next slide, please. The Southern Cross region, we have a number of targets and prospects, the Marble project and the Southern Cross project. I'll talk about Marble first, which is probably the one that's got the most interest coming up. We have very good infrastructure nearby, and we are very close to the existing Marble gold mine. Next slide, please. Marble project, we have a number of prospects, as you can see from the map there. We have 6 prospects, of which probably the most exciting for us in the short term is the Boomerang. And if you go to the next slide, please. The Boomerang is an interesting one for us. This project or prospect was drilled back in July of 2022. It was predominantly drilled initially as a kaolin deposit, drilled on a very wide-spaced drill pattern, 200 by 200. And that is the correct program for that style of deposit. But what we did notice, and we have subsequently realized, is that there was a gold hit in one of those holes, a 1 meter at 2.6 grams per ton intersection. We've done some research and we realized that the magnetics are showing some structures through one particular area of the Boomerang. And also we've used some satellite imagery, and that's shown an arsenopyrite anomaly. So a coincident arsenopyrite anomaly and also magnetic structures through both gives us a lot of confidence. So we've done some infill UFF soil program. The results of that program should be coming up over the next couple of weeks. If that's favorable, we will look to do an RC program into that soil anomaly, and hopefully we will get some intersections. Next slide, please. We also have the Stingray Gold prospect that's further to the south. An interesting prospect. We originally thought that was likely to be more of a carbonatite or circular feature, as you can see from the diagram there. But what we did have, and came as a bit of a surprise, is we got some very good gold hits. The gold hits were somewhere between 20 and 40 times background. This is a little bit surprising for us. Background's around 1 ppb. And what we can now see is that that program will be infilled and has just recently been infilled. And we've got those assays going in for, those soils going in for analysis at the moment. And we'll put the announcement out once we have those results. Next slide, please. Further to the northwest, northeast, we have a prospect called the Crayfish prospect. I don't know if it's fairly clear, but you can see some old lines of workings where an auger program was done in 2020. We have now seen subsequently with the satellite imagery, there's another arsenopyrite anomaly. What we have come to the conclusion is that the Southern Cross goldfields, they have historically been associated with arsenopyrite. So we are now doing a more infill soil program currently at that spot, and we believe that this is a very exciting area for us to focus over the next couple of months. So yeah, we're looking forward to doing some work there, and those results will be released when they are due. Next slide, please. We also have another area to the southwest of Western Australia. That is the Brunswick and Kirup projects. We have the Mustang, Falcon, Hippie Later, and Thunderbird prospect, which we only recently started developing from a gold focus. And if you could go to the next slide, please. The Kirup project, we are going to focus in on the Mustang prospect. If you could go to the next slide. Okay, this is an area that was originally developed as a lithium play, but we now have subsequently found that we had a 3.5 gram per ton gold rock chip. That rock chip has now given us the confidence to do a more extensive soil program. That soil program has started. We have assays in there at the moment, sorry, a soil program going through at the moment. And we would like to think that if that does develop, that we will do more soils and then possibly an RC program there as well. I think the key for us down there is that there is historically been some gold just to the north. The Donnybrook gold mine was a very rich gold deposit, sort of went around the 15 grams per ton. And it's something that we would be very excited to see if this was to develop further. Next slide, please. As you can see, these are some of the rock chips that have been taken down there. The first one at the top there, an extensive quartz veining within a sandstone. Very unusual to see quartz veining in a sandstone. It probably means that we are very close to a source. Further to the north, up near the Donnybrook gold mine, the historic mining was done in a sandstone, so it gives us confidence that this is something that we'll be looking forward to. You can see in slide, rock chip number 3, quite a lot of chalcedonic quartz alteration. There's vugs, or what the geologists call vugs. They're holes basically that look like remnant where the sulfides may have been. This gives us potential where if we were to do some drilling at depth, the sulfides would still be fresh, and that's where the gold could be hosted. Next slide, please. We also still keeping a very close focus on our lithium targets. We've got Western Australia, again, a very strong depository for lithium. If you're going to look for lithium anywhere in the world, you might as well be looking for in Western Australia. The next slide, please. As I said, the Mustang is a sort of a multi-element play. We had originally tried to do some drilling there back in September. Unfortunately, the weather was against us. The soil, the ground conditions were a little bit too wet, and so we could only drill one hole. We have a number of targets that we'd like to drill into pegmatites there, and so we would like to get back there at the appropriate time. We were probably thinking maybe around April or May of this year. If we go to the next slide. Southern Cross, another area that we've developed. We have quite a number of prospects there: Sasha, Talia, Nadia, and Tin Hill. Next slide, please. The Sasha prospect, which is one that's probably the next chance. Good tantalum, good beryllium, good lithium results, and something that we would like to get on the ground and do some drilling there when we get access to a drill rig. Next slide, please. Nadia, another other prospects, all very good soils and rock chips. We'd like to get there as well in the future. Next slide, please. Talia, a little bit further to the south, again, sensational rock chipping and soil mapping. Again, we'd like to get in the drills there as soon as possible. Next slide, please. Some of the rocks that are at these locations looks very promising. Next slide, please. We also have a joint venture with a company called ACM, the Rankin Dome. That's more of a rare earths play. Next slide, please. They've put some announcements out. They're getting some good TREEs, but we're very much relying on their progress. We hope to see them active this next couple of months, and we'll like to report there. Next slide, please. Thank you for your attendance. We're a small company. We have a market cap of just over $4 million, and we'd like to think there's plenty of upside for investors.
Thanks, Ric. Great presentation. Yeah, you may be a small company, but you've certainly got plenty of assets that you have within your portfolio, and you're looking to develop. Would it be fair to say, listen to that presentation, gold seems to be foremost up front? I'm not surprised, because the gold price has been incredibly strong now for a very long time, since the central banks really started buying heavily back in October last year. It's now been above $2,000 a ton for a while. What's interesting is obviously the gold prices move. We haven't seen that in the gold stock. So is it fair to say that the gold is frontline and centre to try and take advantage of where the gold price is?
Yeah, I think there's a disconnect. Gold price is strong. In Australian terms, we're up near $3,000 an ounce.
Yep.
There's certainly good money to be made with the gold plays. I think, as you said, central banks are being very cognizant. A lot of political uncertainty at the moment. I think there's a good opportunity in gold. Obviously, as an explorationist, we need to find it first. Let's make sure that we're in the right spots. A company of our size, we want to be near existing infrastructure. The Southern Cross Goldfields Belt has historically been very good for infrastructure. We don't need to find a large deposit there, and it's something that we could go into production relatively quickly in terms of gold these days.
And kaolin is not an element we've heard much about in the past. Can you just tell us a little bit more about its uses, market, and pricing?
Certainly. It's a bit of a black market as far as pricing. It's very much all done user to supplier. But yeah, you find that kaolin is used in multiple products, even as far as your toothpaste, there's kaolin in it. Ceramics. You also have got a lot of people using it in what they call high purity alumina. That's a new methodology to use it. So yeah, there's a number of ways that kaolin is used. It's a fairly inert product. A lot of people are using it for refractory, the ceramic industry. So yeah, it's a well-used path. It comes down to economics to make that a viable concern for us.
Gotcha. And what's the what is next for the Rankin Dome project following the recent RC drilling program?
Sorry, was that Paul?
Sorry, what is the next for the Rankin Dome project following the recent RC drilling program?
I think Rankin Dome will be very much our joint venture partner dictates the timing for that one. But I think for us, our next project would probably be more likely to be the Boomerang. We'll hit that harder ourselves, and we'd like to be able to be on the ground probably within 6 weeks doing some drilling there.
And just to finish up, with regards to both the Cobra Lithium prospect and the Mustang Lithium prospect, how do these compare to other nearby deposits and neighbours?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're very close to green bushes for our stuff down the Brunswick and Kirup area. It's not something that, again, we don't need to rebuild infrastructure. We could provide feed for that particular operation if was required. So, yeah, we don't need a very substantial size resource to make that viable. Also at Southern Cross, you got the Mount Holland or Earl Grey deposit. So yeah, there's infrastructure everywhere. The one glory about West Australia is it's all flat, good roads, so we can get things to market very quickly.
Ric, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. We'll watch your story very, very closely.
Thank you very much, and hopefully, if there's any questions, we'll get some and we'll be able to answer them for you.